All right, Jesse on fire. Welcome back to the channel. So I just had a story fall into my lap that required me to come back up here and film this, even though I am still sick today and not feeling very good. But I'm going to talk about this because I just found like this is a crazy story. It has to do with Dana White, drug dealers, blackmail potentially. Oh, I don't know about blackmail, but maybe. And certainly how things fell into place for them to sign a $1 billion deal that I'm going to just speculate about, you know? I'm going to like I said on my video yesterday about Mike Tyson, I kind of just use combat sports stories to talk about concepts that are interesting to me. And this is certainly one of them. And it has to do with business and the application of certain types of business practices that without any shred of doubt in their position, I would use. And we're going to go with that. Yeah, but we're talking about, big executives, really upstanding people facing very embarrassing information coming out, So we're going to talk about that. Before we get into that, let's just do what we always do. Please subscribe to the channel if you're going to watch my stuff. It's a gentleman's agreement. It's the cost. Everyone seems to do it. If you're still one of those holdouts that's just like watching all my stuff and not subscribing, it's kind of messed up, dude. It's kind of messed up. Okay. Everybody else is paying. You just click a button and it's over. Right. And you have access to all of the stuff that I've done. We're talking like 1,400 videos between my two channels. And my other channel is Jesse on everything. And then you can have access to all of it. So please subscribe and we will go from there. Now, also, the sponsor of this particular video is Yo Kratom. If you are a Kratom user, this has all of Yo Kratom has like all the strains. You order on there, you get $60 kilograms. If you're not a powder person, it comes in, you can buy the capsules. It's a little bit more expensive. I think it's like $110 for a kilogram, but capsuled. That is such an insanely low price. If you actually go to the store and look at what you're paying per kilo when you buy in capsules, it's absolutely outlandish. You're talking like a 5 or 6x, 600% price increase. So Yo Kratom, it's the bomb. That's where I get mine. Check it out today. There's no promo code or anything. You just go to Yo Kratom and shop, dude. I love them. They are they're the easiest sponsor to work with in the world. Them and Sheath. Anyway, so let's jump into this thing and we'll go from there. Okay, so I'm going to play this video for you guys, and this is where we're going to start. All right, so this is a story that Dana White told, and then I'm going to tell you what I know about this.
I'll tell you a crazy story. You ever hear of John Skipper?
No.
John Skipper ran ESPN. Beloved. Looks like the squarest dude on the planet. Hates UFC.
Hates it because it's violent.
Big soccer guy. So our Fox deal is up, and we're probably not going to end up doing another deal with Fox. John Skipper's never, ever going to take the UFC. So we're in a real tough place. John Skipper's cocaine dealer is going to rat him out.
What?
He has to tell Disney my cocaine dealer is probably going to go public. So he has to step down from ESPN right at the time that we're trying to make a TV deal. We end up doing the ESPN deal. I'll tell you.
All right. So I had never heard that story before. That got dropped in my lap just now. And so I'm actually curious what you guys think of that. Before I say what I think of that, I'm curious what you guys think of that. Because I instantaneously default to, this is why Lorenzo and Dana love being in business so much. Problem solving at this level, you have to play. I mean, business is the most cutthroat. Like when people say it's a cutthroat business, I don't think people really understand what that means in a lot of cases. Like they think it's like, oh, well, if we reduce our prices, that's really going to undercut the competition. I mean, they just launched this other thing and we've got a better one. Like, man, that's cutthroat. Yeah, no. And whether I'm right about this or not, you could consider what I'm going to say as a glimpse into things that have happened 1 billion times in other cases. Okay. So they're losing their Fox deal, right? They're looking to sign. I mean, I think this ended up being like $1 billion, $1.5 billion. I don't know. So definitely a 10 figure deal that they did with ESPN, right? And they've got one executive that's blocking them. Now, it's not like you have a bunch of options, dude. If Fox is off the table and ESPN's off the table, what do you got? Right? Like, seriously, what do you got? That's a big problem to solve. That's a problem to solve. And if ESPN, if you got one blocker, a single blocker, what are you going to do, dude? What are you going to do? And so what's crazy about this is a lot of things that I talk about have to do with like I mean, I'm sure if you watch my channel a lot, you know I'm a very strategic person. Like I think many steps ahead. And so when I was running Major League Fantasy, right, I was CEO of a very small company at the time. Well, it never became anything much bigger, but when we had the TV show, if you've never watched the TV show, look up Jesse on Fire Startup. There's a documentary about when I was the CEO running this company. And had that TV show ended up going to series like it was supposed to with Esquire, I knew that we were going to absolutely catapult to the top of the world instantly, because DraftKings and FanDuel, this was like right at their moment where they were spending hundreds of millions of dollars on marketing. So I knew we would be in the conversation with them overnight, and I would have an astronomical amount of money to start scaling this business. And so while, when I thought about how I was going to do that, it was like, all right, so in terms of the marketing, I'm going to go poach someone from the Golf Channel or, someone who has experience building out marketing campaigns of this magnitude to support what we're doing on the TV show. When it comes to the product, I'm going to hire an external person. I'm going to go poach someone from Instagram or something, someone with extremely, relevant experience. Well, probably not Instagram, from a gaming company. So I'm going to basically, I'm going to put experienced people into these roles. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play human chess against everyone else, right? I'm going to go get the deals that are going to put us in the places that I want us to be in. So I'm going to go target this, this sports team. I'm going to go try to, this chain of restaurants, whatever. And I'm going to go get leverage where I need it. Like I want to go try to find leverage where if I need to, I can pull this string, right? And what that meant was private investigators. Okay. I was going to have a team of private investigators that were on all the people where that would be valuable. There's nothing more valuable than information. Nothing. There's nothing more valuable than information. If you have something on a person that they don't want people to know, this is nothing illegal about this, dude. Like, I'm not talking about anything illegal, but like if one of your, just think about it, dude. Think about what it's like to have to know something about a person that they will do anything to not have anyone find out. It's a lot of power, dude. A lot of power. Now, I was never able to implement this because the show didn't go to series, but that was very high on my list of instantaneous priorities. And you think about this story, it's like, dude, you have to get, like, you have a blocker at ESPN, a blocker. He hates UFC. Serious problem. And then how does it get solved? A cocaine dealer is going to go public. What? So can you guys think of one time that you've ever heard of a cocaine dealer going public? Like when he says he was going to rat him out. Okay. So like maybe there's some high-end cocaine dealer who got jammed up, but even if that happened, why would you be ratting out customers, right? The guy from ESPN, he's not a distributor. Why would law enforcement try to roll him up into just people who are personally using? You know what I mean? Like I talked to one in particular, like very, very experienced law enforcement. He's kind of my favorite person to talk to. He was like, he's a big deal. LAPD, organized crime division. He was the officer in charge of all this stuff. He tells me the craziest stories ever. So I'm actually going to ask through this video, right? You would never roll anyone up or roll them down into their customer base. Like, why would you do that? If they're a dealer and you got them, you roll them up. Why would you roll them down? Hey, you got any really big name customers that would be valuable for us to know? He's like, oh yeah, man. I actually, I sell pretty regularly to the, to the executive director of ESPN. They're like, okay, cool. Go to the prosecutor. You're like, listen. So I've got him moving this much weight. Listen to this too. One of his customers runs ESPN programming. Prosecutor's like, okay. How much weight are we talking? They're all, personal use. They're all, how is that relevant then? Well, it's the ESPN guy. What if we had him go public? Okay, so let me just make sure I understand. You rolled up a blow dealer who you say is moving a lot of weight, and you used your leverage in the box with him to get him to give up one of his customers who happens to be in programming, and we live in Los Angeles. Yeah. Doesn't that make it a much bigger, much bigger case? No, not at all. Because most drug dealers in Los Angeles who move a lot of weight probably have famous or powerful, so like, I don't understand how is he going public? How is he going public? Explain that to me. Okay. Now there might be a story. I might just be totally speculating, but seemed to be pretty convenient. And so that guy gets removed and they end up going to, they go to ESPN. They had one blocker. Problem solved. Right? Now, do you guys think that's unethical? I don't. Do you think I'm actually seriously asking, who knows? I don't know if they actually did this, but let's say that they did. Let's say Dana and Lorenzo, they knew that this guy's their blocker. They stuck a private investigator on him, and the private investigator comes back after a few weeks and he's like, look, we've got him on, I've got a meeting with this guy 6 times. This guy's got, 2 cocaine arrests, whatever. However they know that this guy's a cocaine dealer. And so Dana and Lorenzo go to the dealer and they go, look, we could do this one of 2 ways. All right. We've got you by the balls. Okay. We know who you are. We've got you doing this. Would you rather us make a problem for you? Or would you rather us pay you an enormous amount of money for you to expose this fuck? I like the one where I don't have a problem and I get money. Good. I think that that's probably the right answer also. But what we're going to need you to do is you're going to have to call him and let him know that you're blackmailing him or something. I don't really know how you get that. I didn't really have a lot of time to think about how I would position this, but because how does the ESPN guy know that the dealer is going to go public? How does that make any sense? He would actually, maybe he would have to blackmail it, go and pretend he's blackmailing and then just, I don't know. There would have to, because it has to be a credible threat. It has to be credible for this guy to go into Disney and go, hey, I'm going to get exposed for my cocaine dealers going public. If you gave me a little bit more time to think about it, I would come up with a very, doable execution plan for that. But nonetheless, the fact that the fact that the cocaine dealer going public is how this guy gets ousted and they end up with that ESPN deal. I mean, do you guys think it's unlikely that Lorenzo and Dana put that in motion? And you can tell by the look on my face, I told you, Dana is my business hero. I hate Slap League. I think Slap League is the dumbest shit ever. I don't like people volunteering for head trauma. But on the other side, on this kind of stuff, I told you this is exactly the kind of stuff I would have been doing. Exactly. So maybe I'm just projecting. Maybe it was just dumb luck. But either way, let's say that they did do that gangster ass move, dude. Gangster, not like gangster, but gangster, that's an excellent play. Because that's a problem you have to solve. You have to solve that problem. You have to solve that problem. It's not just because what other networks are you going to sign with? If no more Fox and ESPN's out, because even if you are going to sign with another network, you can't even pretend to be negotiating because, you have to have more than one offer. If you have no options, right? Then it's a fire sale. If you have one offer, you end up getting paid way less than you're worth. You know what I mean? As UFC fighters have been finding out for years because they're locked in their contracts. And so it's like, here, we're going to give you this much. They're all, yeah, it would be nice if I could test free agency. They're all, it would be, but you have 4 more fights. So, I mean, it worked out for Francis. Just cross your fingers that you keep winning. Anyway, that is what I've got. So, bye-bye.